Welcome to the show, The First Generation Mindset. First Generation Mindset is about taking nothing for granted. It applies to you. If you're the first one in your family to go to college, first one to be a single mom, or first one to be an entrepreneur. This afternoon, I have Carol in the studio. She has so many first times in her family. It's actually incredible. First one in a family to go to engineering college. First one in a family to go on an oil rig. First one in a family to run for the mayor of the city of Sugarland. Carol, I'm excited to have you today.
Thank you for inviting me, Kunal. I'm excited to be here.
Your journey started off, you were born in Tennessee, and you had a college over there and an engineering school. You were the only female in the class. And then you worked in the oil and gas industry for a number of years, and you would go to these oil rigs and be the only female. A lot of first time. Share with me, Carol, your journey. How did your parents, family support you with the first one?
Well, it was fun, but my family, my dad had a teaching degree, but he ended up working at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory, and so I guess, knew about engineers, and I loved math and science. So I decided I didn't think anything of it. So I decided I would go to.
Love math and science.
Those are my favorite.
Most people run away from those subjects.
Yeah, I absolutely love math and science. One of my favorite classes ever was calculus. So I didn't think anything of it when I enrolled to get a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering at the University of Tennessee. And then I noticed in all the classes that I was the only woman. So I thought, oh, wow, I didn't think about it until I got there. And then I'm like, oh, I'm the only woman in this class. I'm the only woman in that other class. And my professor said, you must be in chemical engineering because chemical labs remind you of cooking.
That's the comment professor made?
That was one of my professors made that comment to me. And I'm thinking, I don't cook.
Come back and see the Carol is running to the mayor of Sugarland. You need all your skills to be in the engineering class. Wow.
Yes, but anyway, then after I graduated from there, I got a master's degree in chemical engineering with a minor in petroleum engineering from the University of Texas at Austin. So I still had my UT colors orange and white, but different states and different shades of orange.
Yes.
So then after I graduated, I went to work as a reservoir engineer in the oil and gas business. And from time to time, I would go offshore to supervise the logging operations. And it was a really interesting experience because you'd be flying on the helicopter and you just see water everywhere. And then finally there'd be a little dot out there and it would get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the helicopter would sit down on the pad, drop me off and leave. And I said I was the only woman out on the rig. And the company man had quarters by himself. And then all the crew stayed in one big room, I'm sure with bunk beds, and they didn't have any place for me. So they would set up a cot for me in sick bay. So it was that was a really interesting experience.
Carol, undergrad, grad school, MBA. Did you have any time to meet your husband? If you did, where did you meet him?
I actually met him in grad school at University of Texas at Austin. We were in petroleum engineering classes together, and I actually moved into the dorm 2 doors down from him.
Wow.
So we dated while we both got our masters, and then we both ended up getting a job with our oil and gas company. My job was in Plano, and his job was in Houston. So we had a commuter relationship for a while, and then I had the opportunity to transfer to Houston. And then once I transferred to Houston, I started working on my MBA. Finance and management at night from U of H. So I was pretty busy.
Never ending.
And then I would go offshore the oil rig sometimes. So that was really, it really kept me busy.
Incredible. How long have Sugarland been home for you, Carol?
We lived here in 1993. So for over 31 years. And I started volunteering in the city and with the community almost the day that I got here.
Incredible. And you've served multiple terms the city of Sugarland as part of the council team. What prompted you to run for the position? What was your vision? What was your strategy plan?
I was retired at that time, and the current District 4 council member had announced he was running for re-election. And then about a week before the filing deadline ended, he sent an email out that he had decided not to seek re-election. And people started coming to me and saying, Carol, you should run for District 4 council. And I said, me? I haven't thought about running for office before. Not me. I just enjoy being involved with the community. And then I got thinking, wait a minute, I am more qualified than many candidates who run for office because I had spoken at a number of planning and zoning commission meetings and council meetings off and on over the years. I was a graduate of Sugarland 101. I was also a graduate of the Sugarland Police, Fire, and Airport Academies. And back in 2003, City Council at the time had appointed me as one of 5 citizens to serve on the City Charter Review Commission. And that's a commission that's convened once every 5 years to review what we thought and to see if there's any changes we need to make to be compatible with state law or that we'd like to present to the voters to vote on. So,
Do you recall any specific law or regulation that you were involved with in that role when you were part of citizen group?
there was the state law part is pretty straightforward, and there was nothing substantial at that time. We looked at changing the terms from 4 3-year terms to 3-year terms at the time, and the residents came out strongly against it. So that was interesting. And then I later served on the Land Use Advisory Committee, and that was something that looked at the land use plan for the next 20 to 25 years. And that was a committee that went on for several years because it's a really big undertaking and a lot of different perspectives to consider and a lot of different citizen engagement. And in fact, I was on the Land Use Advisory Committee at the time when I filed to run for office.
Wow.
So anyway, I've just always loved Sugarland. I've loved learning about Sugarland, loved being involved and giving back. And so I decided, I'm going to run.
You're not the first woman to run for the mayor, but you've never had a female mayor of Sugarland.
That's correct. Yeah. In 65 years, there's never been a woman mayor of Sugarland.
Phenomenal. Now, you've served as a council person for how many, 7 to 8 years, Carolina?
I've served for 8 years as a city council member, and the longest serving council member currently. And I served as mayor pro tem from 2019 to 2020, and I'm in my 4th and final term due to term limits.
Phenomenal. Share with me some of the highlights of running for that position and actually serving that position. We all have highs and lows. What's been some of the exciting parts that you've been engaged with so far?
Thank so much. Hard to think. Well, one that was really rewarding is just after Hurricane Harvey, people's homes flooded in parts of the city. And so I actually met with the residents and I was able to, provide support to them during a time like that. And then we worked on drainage projects to help that area from flooding again. And so then in May 2019, again, there was a rain event then, and homes in another part of the city flooded. So I worked hard to get drainage projects going in that area because some of those homes had 18 inches of water in them. And I know it's not glitzy kind of stuff like that, but as an engineer, drainage and infrastructure and things like that are important.
That's second issue to you.
Yes.
You ran some numbers, ran some maths, calculus on that. And in 2025, you had some new initiatives. We had the initiative for the Mobility Act that we have in Sugarland. We have a fleet of cars to take residents from point A to point B at a minimal cost. We also have the project around the Cleary, the Char House. You mind talking about these two? What's your involvement? What's your opinion? What's your strategy for the residents of Sugarland for these two aspects?
Yes. So, Fort Wayne County is one of the fastest growing counties in the United States. So we're getting a lot of through traffic, which is, added to the congestion of the city. And we've widened the roads almost as much as we can widen them. We're finishing up the last project now, which is widening University Boulevard from New Territory down to about Wentworth. And so then we switched to using the latest in traffic timing technology, where the traffic lights can communicate with each other and they can change their cycles depending on what the traffic is. So we're really working on that kind of innovations. But then this microtransit is a new program that just started a few days ago. And we have an 18 square mile pilot area in the city. And so for the first month, it is free, totally free. You just call one on your app, same day, and it will pick you up and drop you off where you need to go. And then after the first month, there'll be a $2 charge. So it's a really great rideshare program. Some of the vehicles are EVs, others are hybrids. So yeah, that's a really exciting way to help improve mobility in our city.
Who are the people driving these cars? Are these volunteers or employees of the city of Sugar Land? Who's driving these cars?
Oh, it's a separate company that we've hired. Yes. And so they provide the service.
And is it what during business hours, 24/7? What's the coverage?
Oh goodness. It's from in the morning until in the evening. And I think it's Monday through Saturday.
Monday through Saturday. We want to share about the project for Imperial, which is going through the whole process of City of Sugar Land, has acquired the asset rights and everything else. So share with me the vision. What are you planning on doing with the project?
Yes. So for over 20 years, a developer has owned Imperial, and they have tried to develop it or sell it to another developer, and they haven't been successful. And meanwhile, the Char House, the iconic symbol of our city, is 100 years old this year, and it's starting to have, issues, and it really is in critical need of stabilization and preservation. And we thought if we continue to let this continue the way it has been, the same thing is going to keep happening. And at some point, the Char House is going to be probably past the point of saving.
Sure.
And then also you're further postponing the redevelopment. So we decided to take a very bold step and pursue acquiring the Imperial Historic District where the Char House is. And that deal should close in May. So anyway, the vision for that is to have a mixed use development. So there'll be some commercial, there'll be office, retail, restaurant. There'll be some residential in there, a mix of different type of housing products, and then also some really nice green spaces, public spaces for people to enjoy. But the intent is for the city to work with various developers and then select a developer who has an exceptional vision for the site to sell it to, and then have that developer develop the site.
So what's the timeline? You said in a month or so we close on the land, close on the project. How many years are we talking about before we break ground and see this mixed-use development?
That's a little bit hard to say. We want to start the preservation process as soon as possible, and I'm sure we'll be working with developers, very shortly thereafter. But it's hard to say exactly what the time frame is going to be because you need to make the selection process, and then of course it goes through planning and zoning and council. So it'll be a while, and it could be something that's done in phases as well. That hopefully we could break ground, maybe say 2027. I'll take a wild guess on that. It'll be exciting opportunity for the city.
What is he passionate about while you're not cracking numbers, doing science work or serving the city? What's your passion? What are your hobbies?
Oh, what are my hobbies? Oh my goodness. I am so busy serving the city that I don't really spend much time on my hobbies anymore. We've got a dog and we spend time walking him. I used to play the piano, but I've been away from that for a long time. So that's my main thing. But I live and breathe Sugar Land almost every waking minute of the day, according to my husband.
You get some time to him?
Oh yeah, I do. He gets time.
He gets time.
He gets some time. But I like to go bicycling, and then I just like to spend time, in the kitchen doing different types of food preparation.
Love it.
Yeah, bake. I'll do some baking. I do cook and bake now.
You do cook?
I didn't in college, but I do now.
How you do? So, Kat, I understand running for the mayor, your act is for people to vote for you, elect you the next mayor, first female mayor to learn. I believe in a concept which is, you got to have clarity for your vision in life, and then comes value that you bring to other people, and then comes the ask. So, vision, value, ask. You shared with me your vision. I understand the value you bring to the market, to our city, your extensive years of experience, your multiple college degrees. If you were talking to candidates today, people, voters who you can ask for, what would you say to them today? Why should someone vote for Kat? Why should you be the next mayor of Sugar Land?
Okay. Well, my priorities are public safety, infrastructure revitalization, and redevelopment in keeping with residents' values. And that is mainly focused on Imperial and Fleur in the near term. And so I just want to keep Sugarland a really sweet, welcoming place for people of all backgrounds to call home. I really value the sense of community we have here. This is truly a rare gem. I think Sugarland is an incredible place to live. And I have the knowledge, experience, and leadership skills to lead the city. I've got a proven track record of getting things done. And I said, I love Sugarland. And I said, Josh got this one out. I love Sugarland and really am committed to keeping it as a strong city and making it better and better in the future.
Love it, Carol. Your passion, your commitment. Currently the longest serving council person on the board today, running for the mayor. Who is your biggest fan?
My husband's my biggest fan.
That's exactly what I was expecting to say. Does he feel that he's going to have even less time when you become the next mayor, Carol?
He did make that comment to me. But he is totally supportive because I wouldn't have run unless I had my husband's full unconditional support to do this.
Of course, they are a guiding force, whether it's your spouse, your partner. If you don't have the support, no matter how successful you are, no matter how committed you are, it becomes challenging when your partner is not supportive. So it's a blessing that your husband is supportive of you and he sees you as the next mayor of Sugarland. It's always a pleasure meeting with you, Carol. I would love for you to have a copy of my book that I talked about, which is the first generation mindset, concept of vision, then comes value, and then the ask. Your ask is clear. We want voters to vote for you, make you the next mayor of Sugarland, first female mayor of Sugarland.
And early voting is April 22nd through the 29th, and election day is May 3rd. So I ask for your vote and your support so I can be the next mayor of Sugarland.
Love it. Carol, so good to see you today.
Yes.
Want to wish you the very best of luck, and here's a copy of the book as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.